So I am somebody who loves Marvel. I love the MCU. I love all the movies. I love Guardians of the Galaxy. They're probably two of my favorite MCU movies. So when we saw Guardians of the Galaxy was coming to Switch, I was pretty excited. Then we found out it's gonna be a cloud version. So we're gonna talk about the cloud version. We're gonna talk about the game in general, if you should buy it on the Switch or possibly somewhere else. What's up guys, welcome back or welcome in for the first time. If you are new here, do me a favor, jump down in the description of this video and click the link over to our podcast channel. We record a podcast on mine or Jeeb's Twitch every single Thursday. So you can catch it live there, or if you want to see the playbacks, you can catch it over on this channel. All the links to the places you listen to podcasts will also be there. Check that out after this video. Okay, let's jump right into this. I played Guardians of the Galaxy on the Switch. I tried the demo, and you know how this stuff goes with the cloud versions of things on the Switch. They are hit and miss. I have to say, I played Control on the Switch, and I didn't really have any problem. I played over Wi-Fi, handheld, sitting right over here on the couch, and had really no problem at all. I also tried Guardians of the Galaxy over Wi-Fi, and it didn't really work all that well. I still have the same exact internet that I had set up when I played Control, but it didn't really work that well. So I actually made another account so I could play the demo again, and I hooked up the OLED dock, went ahead and used the Ethernet port, plugged right in, and tried it that way, played it again. It was still not very good. So I don't know what the deal is with that, if it's different servers or whatever it is, but this one does not seem to be running as good as Control. And either way, if you don't have the internet for this, the cloud version is it's just not the way to go. Now I will say this before we even get into talking about the game itself. If you do have good internet, if you have, and I mean good internet, and you have no other way to play this game, I think maybe you should give it a try. Maybe do the demo, see how it goes, because this game is a lot of fun. Now, instead of buying this game on the Switch, I ended up buying it on my Xbox Series S, which it does look a lot different, and we're gonna get into that in a second, but I did go ahead and go with that. You know, for $60, I just wanted to make sure I was actually going to be able to play this game and really enjoy it. Like I said, I love Guardians of the Galaxy, so I've been really excited about this game. I wanted to make sure that I got a good experience. And actually, now that I bring that up, the two versions are definitely different. I'm gonna try to put the two shots up on screen right now. You're probably seeing footage from my Twitch stream the other night. Again, if you wanna join us for these live streams, we do this almost every night at this point. The link for that will be down in the description as well. But if you look at these two shots, they actually look a lot different. You can see when they come out and look out into this big distant area, you can see on the Switch version that the foreground where they're standing is very, very blurred. On the Xbox Series S and X version, it's not. So the cloud version is not the version that the current gen consoles got. It's probably, my guess would be the PS4 version or the Xbox One version. Obviously, I'm not 100% sure. I haven't played those, but that would be my guess. So just know if you are getting it on the Switch, you're not getting the same exact version. It looks like you are getting a PS4 or some kind of downgraded version. But as far as the game goes, I'm having a ton of fun with this. And just like Metroid Dread, where I did a video just kind of when I was about halfway through, maybe a little more than that, this is not a full review. I just want to talk about the game because I'm really enjoying it. By the time I get done with the game, there's not going to be any point in me putting out a video. There may not be a point of me putting out a video now, but I wanted to do it right now while I'm excited about it and people are actually still talking about it. So, from what I've experienced, I played on stream last night for a couple hours. I played a little bit more today. I'm probably about 3 to 4 hours into the game. Having a lot of fun with it. I want to start with the combat. I want to talk about that because it's a lot of fun. It's very fluid combat. It's a little weird to get used to. It does not take anywhere near as long to get used to as something like I just played, like Metroid Dread. That took me a long time to get used to. It's way easier to pick up than that, but once you get it, the combat's really satisfying. When you dodge and turn around and start shooting, it's really fun to play. And obviously the further you get into the game, the more skills you get. You can do different things. Like the first one you get, for example, is the ability to hover above everyone as you're shooting. That's a big help. As soon as you got that, it got a lot easier to start controlling the other Guardians and having them help you out and do things that you need them to do when you're in a big combat situation. Now, you only play as Peter Quill, but you do have control over the other ones somewhat. You can hit the L button or whatever it is on Xbox, I don't know. Anyway, you hit that button, it'll bring up a menu, and then you can pick which one you want to do something, and then once you hit that, it'll give you other options of what you want them to do. Now again, these are things you unlock. You get more and more as you go, so you'll be able to have them help you more and more and do specific things the further and further you get along. At first, you only have one each. You have one attack each. Like for instance, Groot will go tie down people with roots and stuff so you can shoot at them and they can't move. That's pretty helpful. That's his first one. Everybody's is pretty basic, but that's not the only thing you can do with that mechanic. You can actually have them help you cross big gaps. Like Groot will make a bridge of vines so you can walk across, or Drax will, you know, push something over that's really heavy that you can't push over. They kind of help you along the way with some of the little puzzles here and there, and they're not difficult puzzles. They're all really simple. But as you gather more and more skill points, you'll be able to have them do more things, and things get easier. And I will admit, the first time we went into a battle and I had to start controlling them, it is a little bit confusing at first. There's a lot going on screen, especially when there's a bunch of enemies in one room and you're trying to dodge and also hit the button at the same time to have somebody else do something on the other side of the room to help you. There's a lot going on. Kind of chaotic at first, but again, you get used to it. Now, having them do that does help you, but they do have a cooldown, so you can't just be spamming them and keep having them doing it over and over and over. But when you have all 4 of them helping you out and doing different things, you can kind of go to one, let them do their thing, fight a little bit, go to the other, let them do their thing, and by the time you get back around, you can pretty much just keep going with that and keep sending out commands. It seems like that's what they've intended with this whole mechanic, because that's about how long the cooldown takes. If you've used everybody, you can go right back and kind of keep going. Now, the combat is good. You know, like I said, there are some puzzle elements, but they're definitely not the star of the show. The star of the show for this game so far for me is by far the story. The story is absolutely fantastic so far. All the dialogue, everything that you do, because this is a game where you are presented with a lot of choices throughout the game. You are the one driving the narrative, really. And I'm talking about everything down to like agreeing with Drax or agreeing with Rocket. Little things like that that just make things change, and it's just done really well. And it does come up a lot. You do have to make a lot of decisions pretty quickly. Most of them are on a timer, so there's a little meter that goes down and you've got to make a split decision right there. It's really good in a way that it doesn't really give you a lot of time to think about it, and you know, you may make the wrong decision just because you didn't have enough time to think about it, and it wouldn't even really be the wrong decision, because I don't think at this point, except for one situation, whenever you huddle up in a battle, I think other than that, I don't think you can actually make a wrong decision. I think whatever decision you make just leads you down a little bit of a different path with the characters and the way that people interact with you. But other than that, the actual story itself, the dialogue, just the comedy, it has the same tone as a Guardians of the Galaxy MCU movie for sure. Last night on stream, I found myself literally crying. I was laughing so hard at some of the stuff that Peter Quill says to people and their responses to him. It's really well done. I really love everything about the story so far. It feels like it's actually gonna get kind of serious here as well. There are some points in the story that I'm starting to see develop that hopefully they're gonna be able to separate the comedy from that and still have a good balance of both. But that's definitely my favorite part of this game so far by a mile. And that's another thing. There is a ton of dialogue in this game. It is very, very narrative driven. So there are gonna be a lot of points where you're literally watching cutscenes for a pretty good amount of time. And there are some instances where you're just walking around talking with somebody and you're just making decisions, having a conversation with them as you're walking through places and learning things about the story. So it's not all combat, but again, combat's good. All that dialogue stuff is great. The game as a whole, I love. Now, I do want to talk about something really quickly that might be a spoiler to the game, so if you really want to be invested in the story, you may want to just stop watching now, but Drax said something. No, actually, it was not Drax that said it. I believe it was Peter Quill that said it, and it was about Drax. But I wonder with this statement if what they're doing with this game is actually some world building. Like maybe this is going to be like an MCU type of thing with these other games, possibly. Maybe the Avengers game, I'm not sure. Probably not, but I mean, I don't know. Now, I have not played the Avengers game. I have it on Game Pass now. I plan to try it out. So I don't know if this is mentioned there or if it's even in the same time period or what, but they did say that Drax killed Thanos. When they said that, I was kind of shocked. I was like, wow, okay, so Thanos is already dead in this universe. Drax is the one who killed him. I don't know if that's gonna come back around in the rest of the game. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe I'll come back if it does and we'll have a whole discussion about this, but I did find that interesting. The fact that they're bringing in backstory like that with such other big characters. It's very, very interesting. But guys, that is all I have for this one. Let me know down in the comments if you are picking up Guardians of the Galaxy on Switch, the cloud version. Let me know how your internet is. Can you actually handle running this? Clearly I can't. If you are gonna get it on another platform, let me know which one, where you're gonna be playing this game. But guys, that is gonna do it for this one. As always, thank you so much for watching this video. Please leave a like, make sure you are subscribed. See you in the next one.